Exceed English Grade 5, Block number 20, Decoding a Biography, Lesson Plan 2, Using a Dictionary. Students will be able to identify the meanings of unfamiliar words using a dictionary. What is the meaning of the word procrastination? Can we use context clues to find its meaning? No, we see that the word ends with suffix "shun", so must be a noun. But there are no other word clues to find its meaning. Today we will finish reading the biography and find meanings of new words using a dictionary. English Reader Book, page number 108. Lindbergh had to rely on only a clock and compass because navigation equipments for plane at that time was not very good. Pilots and ship captains often looked at the stars to help them navigate. But in planes like the Spirit of St. Louis, the wings of the plane blocked the view of the sky. This made it impossible to see the stars. That meant that pilots were flying nearly blind. A year after his historic flight, Lindbergh got lost while flying in the Spirit of St. Louis. His compass had failed. This experience troubled him so much that he wrote about in his autobiography. Over Florida, my magnetic compass rotated without stopping. I had no idea whether I was flying north, south, east, or west. A few stars directly overhead were dimly visible through the haze, but they formed no constellation I could recognize. Where could I be? If this had happened over the Atlantic, Lindbergh would have been lost at sea. His name would have been forgotten. His nearly tragic trip, however, turned out to be important for the future of air navigation. After his compass error, Lindbergh wanted to find better ways to navigate in airplanes so that people did not have to rely only on compasses. A few months later, he met a young man named Philip Weems. They worked together to change the world of flying. Not surprisingly, most Americans assume Lindbergh was already an expert in everything about flying. Everyone was surprised to learn that he needed training in navigation. When the great Charles Lindbergh admitted that he needed training, many other pilots realized how little they all knew about air navigation. With Lindbergh as its first student, pilot begins training with the new set of tools called the Weems system of navigation. Pilots still needed to use the compass, but they were not completely lost if there was a compass error. Lindbergh was a student willing to learn Weems' new tools. He was also humble enough to let his experience of getting lost serve as an example to other pilots. As a result, pilots were quick to learn about the new system of air navigation. Many pilots told today still use Weems system along with compasses to navigate. The new words that we have underlined are constellation, historic, dimly from the dictionary. We can identify the parts of speech by looking at the suffix. For example, shun tells us that constellation is probably a noun. The suffix li tells us that it is an adverb. And the suffix ic tells us that historic is an adjective. We can also use dictionary to find. We can also use dictionary to find out if a word is noun, verb, adjective, or an adverb. When we should use a dictionary? We should use dictionary to find the meaning of new words when we cannot guess the meaning using context clue. We should also use a dictionary if we want to know an exact definition of a word. We should not use a dictionary when we can guess the meaning of a word using context clue. If we continuously use the dictionary very often while reading, it will break our flow and we will forget what we were reading about. Students, take out your volume 3 to page number 21 S2 using a dictionary. Fill in the table using a dictionary. Historic, famous or important in history, type of a word adjective. Dimly, not very clearly. Adverb, constellation, a group of stars forming a pattern, type of a word noun. Training, process in which someone is taught the skills that are needed for a specific purpose. Type of word, noun. Pilot, a person who flies an aeroplane. Type of a word, noun. Humble, not arrogant or proud. Type of a word, adjective. Second, fill in the fact chart with details about Charles Lindbergh's life. Use the new words from the About table in the fact chart. Name, education and occupation. Attended flight school and had been a US Army Air Service officer and a pilot. Qualities or trait, courageous, determined, focused, humble, flew alone across the Atlantic Ocean when he was only 25 years old. Interesting fact. He was skilled mechanic and designed his own plane. He always shared about any failures during his flight trips so that other pilots learned from his mistakes. Contribution to science. He has helped improve the air navigation system by trying new equipments like beam system during his flight. What does the word autobiography mean? Will you use a dictionary or context clue to decode its meaning? Why? Autobiography is a life story of a person written by the person, her or himself. I would use context clues because I know the meaning of biography and the meaning of prefix auto, which means by itself.